Welcome back, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Loners. We hope everyone is doing well. If you haven't, please like, comment, subscribe, and jump over to our blog channel and subscribe there as well, please. All right, this is episode 350. So, there was a recent, I guess it's the largest ever raid by ICE at a Georgia Hyundai plant.
Holy fucking shit.
The majority of everyone that got detained was of South Korean descent. They were South Korean. And let's see more about this because this seems kind of shady. It doesn't seem like accurate.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We begin today's show with President Trump's growing nationwide immigration crackdown as agents arrested dozens in and around Boston this weekend, and Trump's threatening more actions in Chicago and other so-called sanctuary cities this week. But in Georgia last Thursday, federal officials say they carried out the single largest single-site immigration enforcement action in history when they conducted an immigration raid on the construction site of a new electric vehicle battery plant.
This is crazy.
The facility.
So, sorry, I was reading a little bit into before this, but so those workers were there temporarily from South Korea, from Hyundai, to help set up the plant, and then they were going to hand off jobs to the Americans.
Yeah, this was something that Biden coordinated last term.
That's insane.
To establish, a plant here in Georgia, right?
Yeah, there's so many people, though, that are thinking, they were working there illegally, and the company was, employing them illegally.
You can't... Anyway, but they don't think that. Let's just be real. They don't think that.
On some of the other videos, so many comments were saying, they should find the employer. They should, the employers... They don't look into, maybe they were just there temporarily.
Find the employer.
A lot of people think that these South Korean people were full-time workers there at a plant, just forever working there. They don't realize that they were temporarily setting up a plant.
It is a joint venture by Hyundai Motor Group and LG Energy Solutions. Some 300 of the 475 arrested are Korean. This is DHS Secretary Tom Homan on CNN.
We're going to do more worksite enforcement operatives because, number one, it's a crime to enter this country illegally. Number two, it's a crime to knowingly hire an illegal alien. And
he's saying,
what is he saying?
He's slurring.
And these companies that hire illegal aliens, they undercut the competition that's paying U.S. citizens.
He said they hurt illegal aliens. Well, first off, can we stop saying illegal aliens? Why the fuck are we speaking like that? I remember being a kid and hearing this term and thinking that there was literal extraterrestrial beings coming, invading.
Salaries. Look, no one hires an illegal alien on the goodness of their heart. They hire them because they can work them harder, pay them less, and undercut the competition that hires U.S. citizen employees. They drive wages down.
Over 500 federal, state, and local officials participated in the raid. The agencies involved included not just ICE and Border Patrol, but also the Department of Labor's Office of Inspector General, the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the IRS, and...
What?
I genuinely think that
There's no way
wait.
Is real.
I think Trump and that Holman guy, the guy that was just talking,
Yeah.
I think what they did was they saw a perfect target for a big news thing to look like you're getting something huge done. Even though it's not technically, all those people are just going back to South Korea.
They're all on visas.
Yeah, because they're temporarily helping set up a plant. That's crazy. This is crazy to me.
Maybe this is their way of saying, see, we're not just going after Mexicans, guys. We're going after South Koreans, too.
It could be. Yeah,
I don't know. I literally, it could be anything.
The Georgia State Patrol. The construction site that was raided is in Elabelle, Georgia, near Savannah. It's part of Hyundai's massive 3,000-acre Metaplant campus. State officials say the $12.6 billion project is the largest economic development deal in Georgia's history. Hyundai also has a factory in Alabama and plans to invest $5 billion in a steel plant in Louisiana. This comes as South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung promised at least $50 billion of investments during his recent meeting with President Trump. The South Korean government's now sending a charter plane to pick up the hundreds of Korean workers after they negotiated their release. This is Kang Hun-sik, Chief of Staff to the President of South Korea.
As a result of swift and united efforts by government ministries, business groups, and companies, talks with the United States for the release of the detained workers have been concluded. But what remains now are only administrative procedures, and once those are completed, a chartered plane will depart to bring our people home. To prevent a similar incident in the future, we will work with the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Energy and related companies to review and improve the residency status and visa systems for travelers on U.S.-related projects.
I mean, to me, this would just, it seems like it's going to make them not want to work with us at
That's
all.
exactly what it's going to do. I would never in a million years send workers back over here. I would just be worried that this stunt is going to happen again.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's like a piece we're missing. I don't know. It feels a little cryptic to be like, we'll work to make sure that these things are established better. But it's like,
I don't know.
Why are we making this such a stunt? You know, they're there for a limited period of time to do a job and then to leave and get paid and leave. Also, I always find it funny when these Republican politicians try to pretend that they give a fuck about labor wages here, because they have never once given a crap about like fair work environments, whether it's financial or safety at all. Like they don't care. Okay, you're not looking out for foreigners, let alone your own people.
More, we go to Savannah, Georgia, where we're joined by Meredith Yoon, Litigation Director for Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Atlanta. Yoon is the daughter and granddaughter of Korean immigrants. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Meredith. It's great to have you with us. If you can explain just what unfolded last Thursday.
Thanks so much, Amy. So the raid at the Hyundai megasite began around 9 or 10 in the morning last Thursday and lasted the entire day into the evening as late as 6:30 p.m. Approximately 475 people were detained, filling at least 7 buses. The nationalities of those detained were mostly from South Korea, but individuals from Guatemala, Colombia, Chile, Mexico, Ecuador, and Venezuela also were detained. There are reports that some U.S. citizens, mostly younger workers, initially were subjected to investigatory detention. Some of them were released, and many of those detained had valid work permits. So far, everyone who the folks on the ground have been tracking has some kind of documentation.
Kind of indication that this was about to go down? I mean, this is historic, the largest single-site raid in the agency's history.
That's right. And from what we're hearing, the circumstances of the raid were just absolutely abusive, not only in their scope and just the sheer size of it, but the way that those the folks at the Hyundai plant were treated by law enforcement. Phones were taken from workers. People were pressured to sign papers. There are reports that tear gas was used and that agents on site.
They're trying to.
This is weird.
They're trying to make what do you call it? When you make a big show of
Example, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, for what reason? This is insane.
Were heavily armed. There were helicopters, drones, ATV, and other military-style vehicles that were there at the site. And from what we heard, ICE was blocking the exits from the facility, threatening force if workers did not surrender.
So can you then talk about what happened to the detained employees? Where were they sent? And the timing of this after the deals the U.S. is making with South Korea?
The majority of the workers who were detained on Thursday were taken to the Folkestone ICE Processing Center, which is an ICE detention center in South Georgia near the Florida line. It has been operating as an ICE detention center since since 2017, but has existed as some sort of correctional facility since 1998. The facility has had repeated reports of abusive conditions, including medical neglect, lack of information about people's
Florida.
cases, as well as
Georgia.
horrible conditions
It was on the
at
border.
the facility itself. In 2022, the Department of Homeland Security's Office of the Inspector General did an investigation of the facility and found multiple deficiencies, and that the human rights of those being detained there were being violated. Those conditions continue into current times, and as to what people are facing. With respect to the timing of this enforcement action, it's incredibly, it's just incredibly concerning to see as people like Governor Kemp are trying to, supposedly reach out to South Korean companies to develop the economy in South Georgia. That has been a big part of what's been publicly discussed. And then you see federal law enforcement in conjunction with state law enforcement, including the Department of Public Safety.
This is just like, why go to that extent to do that? Like, you're just putting on a show.
That's what, like you said, I think it's a stunt.
It's insane.
I mean, it is affecting people, but
It's making him look good
It's-
to the people that will not look into it and will be like, yeah, he's taking care of
this is going to
stuff.
affect their economy essentially, because this was supposed to bring thousands of jobs when the plant was established, and
Yeah.
now those jobs aren't going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're not going to be there as soon as they would have if they.
we're able to set
But
it
like,
up.
okay, logically, if this was an actual concern, there has to be a better way to go about it than to just bombard them and start, basically just scaring the fuck out of them and like raiding the place,
Yeah.
because they're at work, they're working, they're doing work. So you can't sit here and act like, one, these people come here and they mooch off our economy, which just isn't true, or two, that they are working, but they're working for pennies, whatever. Okay, which is like another talking point they like to say, which you can argue all fucking day and night that whether that's true or not, because we're not the ones there working and receiving the pay for it. Like, I don't fucking know. But the people who use it as an excuse, they don't give a shit how much they're getting paid. That's just not their concern. It's more just, I think, like you said, I think it's just a stunt and to use them as an example. That's just what I think it is.
It's to show that things are happening.
Right.
Safety and the Georgia State Patrol participating together in this investigation is just incredibly concerning.
We played a clip of the border czar, Tom Homan, talking about going after these workers because they're taking American
platforming
jobs.
these
He
people.
continually refers to illegal aliens. He talks about taking rapists and the worst murderers off the street. And he also talked about how it's illegal to employ what he calls illegal aliens. Were the owners of the plant, were those who were involved in this company, both Korean and American, arrested?
So far, we have not heard any reports that there have been any arrests or criminal arrests that have been executed as a result of this raid. What we have heard is that everyone who has been, civilly arrested by ICE has some sort of documentation, including valid work permits. We've heard reports of people who actually have pending asylum
insane.
applications as well as work permits being arrested. So it's unclear why those individuals were detained.
It's interesting, headline out this weekend, Trump is quietly preparing to travel next month to South Korea. Where he could sit down with China's leader.
Hopefully they give them a warm
He and his top
welcome.
advisors quietly preparing to go there in October for the APEC summit, the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. The significance of this in preparation and what it means for any company who Trump is trying to lure to the United States to set up business.
It certainly is a disincentive to companies that want to invest in the United States. When you see large raids like this that are clearly intended to get a lot of public attention and cause intimidation, it seems at cross purposes with the supposed goal toward economic development.
Meredith Yoon, you are the daughter and granddaughter of Korean immigrants. How has this affected the Korean community with hundreds of people being detained and apparently deported soon at once?
The Korean community is deeply concerned and disturbed by these reports. It is disturbing to see hundreds of people arrested, shackled at their waist and ankles, and loaded into buses and taken to an abusive detention center. So the Korean community is very concerned about the treatment of those who were arrested, as well as potential future raids that could impact the community.
Where do you head from here? Who is appealing to you at Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta? Is the community totally desperate at this point? And does this shut the plant down, having almost 500 people taken away?
We have received many requests.
I don't know. Yeah, it's insane to me just to do this and like not follow up with like, oh, they were temporary here to set up the people opposing what happened should be trying to clearly state more that they were here temporarily to help set up the plant. Like they need to be.
Why would they announce that? That would go against their motive.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the people who are opposing the raids. Like they need to be saying like this is wrong because
they have.
They haven't clearly said they were here temporarily to help set it up.
She has mentioned that they are on visas.
That they have permits.
Here.
Yeah, I know.
That's all that matters. They're the majority of them are not here illegally. I mean, if you don't understand what a fucking work visa is, then shut up. You don't have an opinion. And if they were here permanently, who gives a fuck? They're clearly the best people to set up this plant for a reason, right?
Yeah.
They're helping. I don't understand why we look at humans as like so deplorable. Like if they don't fit a certain criteria for us.
Yeah, that's only gonna happen more and more.
But that's neither here nor there, I guess.
For assistance at my organization, many local organizations that are on the ground providing immediate support in the aftermath have, as you can imagine, received many requests for help. There is a coordinated response, both, who are supporting everyone detained, not only individuals from South Korea, but others as well, with immediate needs after the raid, food, financial support.
This is so unnecessary.
As well as assistance with connecting with legal help. So those efforts are well coordinated and ongoing. And I'm sorry, the second part of your question.
The second part, we have to actually go, but I want to thank you very much for being with us. You're holding a news conference today?
Yes, we are at 11 o'clock.
Meredith Yoon, Litigation Director for Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta. Yoon is the daughter and granddaughter
this is just
of
a fucking
Korean
joke, and it's
immigrants.
sad that people have to be traumatized in the process.
South Korea media reports that Korean companies have halted construction on 22 factories in the U.S. Damn.
I haven't even seen Trump speak about this.
Me either. I don't understand. Crazy. There are a lot of people who are getting fooled by this. I'm serious. I see it all over.
And these are like our allies, South Korea. So I'm actually kind of shocked that they didn't go about this a little more under the radar, try to figure out how they could get checks and balances in place. If it really was a fucking concern, that's why I don't believe it. I don't believe that there was an actual issue that was worth all this time, energy, money. The fucking DEA. Why is the DEA there? That's crazy. And the FBI. It's so fucking real. But hey, when it comes to all these people on this fucking Epstein list, let's not use our tax dollars
to find more about that.
or even to give a shit about sex trafficking amongst children in this country.
Yeah.
Let's worry about these people just trying to get a job done and leave as soon as they can. Yeah,
100%.
sounds about right.
It's insane. I don't know. You guys let us know in the comments what you think about what's going on. That's, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
That's just frustrating. Super, super fucking annoying and stupid. There's so many, there's just so much happening at once. And I know it's been like that the past few years, but particularly in the past like week or so, every day I feel like there's at least like 2 news events that it's like, where do we focus? There's just always something
I think
happening.
that's that
And
shock,
it's scary.
the shock doctrine thing.
Yeah,
it's part of that. But okay, let us know in the comments what you guys think. Like,
if anyone has
subscribe.
like family that is watching this, or any connection to the people that are being detained or affected, can you let us know? Because I kind of like to hear firsthand off people's experiences versus like news outlets and stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. Another bullshit thing happening here, and a lot of people are pretty friggin' frustrated with it out here. But then, like Brian was saying earlier, there's a lot of idiots that apparently
get manipulated by this shit and think that everything positive is like that this is a positive thing. I don't know.
Could not understand how you would think that, but okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you on the next one, guys.